Welcome to my lecture online. So why do we care? That's a question I often hear in an algebra class from algebra students. Why are we doing this? What's the use? This will never be used. I will never see this again when I get out of school. Well, perhaps, but it turns out there's some very useful things that come out of this, and depending upon what other studies you may be doing, finance, business, science, math, physics, you name it. There's lots of places where this becomes very practical and something that we really need to know how to do. So here's a few examples to give you some idea that this is indeed very useful. So we're going to learn the technique, and we'll show you some examples of how to actually do it and all the various techniques in which it can be done. But this is essentially why we are doing it. So our first example, the break-even point. Notice that when we have a business, let's say we have a hamburger stand and we're selling hamburgers. Well, if we don't sell any hamburgers, then all we have is cost. And our cost is larger than our profit or our revenue. And so you can see that we have a loss. We get less money coming in, more money going out. And of course, if that lasts for a long time, we go out of business. But then if you sell enough, the amount of revenue will then exceed our cost. The difference, the profit. And as long as we keep making a profit, and as long as we keep making sufficient amount of profit to stay in business, we can stay in business. So there's a point where we don't have a loss and we don't have a profit, where the two lines cross, and that's called the break-even point. If we sell that many hamburgers, we make $0 profit. We can still make enough money to pay all the bills, but there will be nothing left over. That's what we mean by the break-even point. Our second example is the typical supply and demand curve. Now we have linear equations to describe that, or we have nonlinear equations. So the simpler models are the linear equations. We have what we call the demand and we have the supply. As the price goes up, the demand goes down, so we have less demand, but as the price goes up, we'll have more supply because more people will make it if there's more money to be made. Notice if the price goes up and the demand goes down, you'll supply more then you will demand, and you have a surplus. You can't get rid of your stuff. So you need to start dropping the price. And as the price starts dropping, well, then you see the demand goes up as the price drops, and the supply will diminish as the price goes down. The supply will diminish, and eventually you'll come to the point where the two lines cross. That's called the equilibrium point. This is where the supply and demand are kind of equal at that point, and you can see that the quantity demanded will then equal the quantity supplied, and that's how economics works. There always will be enough to satisfy the demand depending upon the price. Our third example is rental cost. Let's say you go rent a truck to drive things around with, and of course the rental company usually charges you a per day fee, and then they charge you for a per mile fee. And some companies, they want to get your business, they have a lower daily cost, but the per mile cost will be greater. Other companies will have a greater fixed daily cost, but they'll have a lower cost for the miles driven. So if you're going to rent a truck and just drive it a few miles, you want to go with the company that gives you a low daily cost because the total cost will be less than if you go with the other company. But if you drive a lot of miles, then you're better off with the one that has a higher daily cost and charges you less per mile. At some point, you have that point of intersection, and so depending upon how many miles you drive, you want to go with company 1 or company 2. And so you can see there's a lot of practical uses for this kind of thing. We only showed you 3 examples. We can probably show you dozens, maybe even hundreds of examples. So this is a very useful technique that you'll see in a lot of different applications. So if you're still wondering, why do we care? Well, we care because there's so many great applications for this technique, and that's why we do it.
You didn't give an example for supply and demand. You only talked about it because we did.
Oh, burgers. Yes. I did burgers, I did trucks. How about tomatoes?
Tomatoes?
Yes. If the price of tomatoes is really high, the demand will be really low. And the supply will be really high. For a high price, lots of people will grow tomatoes, try to sell tomatoes because they can make a lot of money. But the demand will go down. So when the price drops, that means the demand will go up. So quantity demanded to the right. So as the price drops, the demand increases, But then the supply will decrease because less farmers will be interested in growing tomatoes because you're not making as much money off those tomatoes. And so again, things will come to an equilibrium when the amount supplied will equal the amount demanded, and that's what will set the price. It works.